Haven't did a monologue video in a little minute. Some things I want to talk about. No special effects, no theatrics, just monologuing a little bit about what's been going on in the sport of boxing, right? And of course, the big fight is coming up really soon. We almost at the end of August, and we about to enter in September, and then from there, we pretty much got a couple of weeks until the big fight between Canelo and Terence "Bud" Crawford. But there's been this narrative right now, right, from some guy claims to have sources that claim that Canelo Alvarez pretty much told Boots Ennis to get on up out of the ring after 3 rounds. Now, like I've been telling you guys prior to any of this stuff coming out, right, Boots Ennis is probably kicking Canelo's ass in camp, right? He's probably likely kicking his ass. And then, of course, then we start seeing photos of him looking like he's worse for wear dealing with Boots Ennis ever since he been in camp, right? But somebody came out and pretty much said that Team Ennis, somebody close to Team Ennis said that pretty much Canelo's been getting his ass kicked, right? Confirmed what I've been assuming. Now, this actual person that came out, I'm not sure if any of that's true, because this doesn't sound like Team Ennis at all. Boots Ennis and his father, Team Ennis, are pretty humble guys, right? They're really humble guys. This don't seem like anything the Ennises would do, right? Reveal these details of this sparring session with this such an important fight. Very important fight. And, you know, even Boots Ennis is already receiving a lot of criticism for going over there to help Canelo Alvarez tackle the task of Terence "Bud" Crawford. Now, when we're looking at Terence Crawford, he's looking like he's sharp. He's looking like he's in shape. He's looking like he's ready to go. Looking at Canelo, he still looks like he got some ways to go. Got his gold chain on, you know, shadow boxing with his gold chain on. You know, how hard are you really working, bro, if you got your gold chain on, right? Seriously, how hard are you really working when you got your gold chain on, your $10 million gold chain on, Canelo? I know it's a very expensive piece of jewelry you got on. How hard are you training if you got your gold necklace on, bro? Right? You know, that's some dudes come in the gym on their off season when they ain't got no fights lined up. They want to get back into it. You know, they come in there and they may have a little jewelry on or something because they're not about to be up in there working too damn hard, right? That's just what did you got your gold chain on for? And then when you're looking at him working on these pads and stuff like that, right? Working the mitts and doing these things, he's messing up, right? He's messing up. And I know a lot of the Canelo fans saw it, but they don't want to talk about it. He was messing up when they was doing these pad works. Now, mind you, Canelo and Petty Reynoso, this is what they call him, right, in the chat. This is what the chat call him, Petty Reynoso. They've been working pads with each other for years, for decades now, right? They're trying to work on some new things, and they just can't get it together. Similar to Errol Spence Jr., the big fish, when he was going to the fight with Bud Crawford, him and Derrick James working, and Errol Spence just couldn't get it together. Eddie Reynoso tell Canelo to go right, he's going left. He tell him to go left, he's going right. He hit him with the right, he's moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not really getting it. That's what it's just looking like. I don't see that same intensity from Canelo. I don't care what nobody say. We've been seeing many instances of Canelo in camp, preparing for fights. We've been seeing this dude for a long time. He's the face of boxing. He's the most popular fighter in boxing, arguably, right? We've been seeing Canelo Alvarez put in work over the years, but for this particular fight, I don't think Canelo got that much in the tank. And then when we're looking at Boots Ennis, you know, all smiles, big as hell, even bigger than Canelo, smiling and beating the shit out of Canelo, softening him up for when he hopped in the ring with Terence "Bud" Crawford. You're getting dealt with the 300M. This is what Bentley Bradley said, right? You're getting beat up by the 300, then you go get the Bentley, the real deal, on September 13th. Crawford running up mountains, running up hills, doing all kinds of drills, right? I mean, if you look at the two fighters and you take away your bias or whoever you got winning the fight, and if you're just looking at this thing objectively, and if you've been paying attention to it as a hardcore boxing fan looking at it objectively, it looks to me, it would appear that Terence "Bud" Crawford is training much harder than Canelo Alvarez. That's just what it looks like, right? Because we can't just sit here and say Bud ain't training hard, because when we see him, he's doing some of everything. You know what I'm saying? And when I say hairstyles, I seen somebody punk ass in the chat say something about, see, when I say hairstyles, that means that shows you don't know shit about any of this stuff, right? When you training, and you got hair on your head, right? And if you are of African descent, or if you're a guy with long hair, period, right? But let's just say African descent because we have styles in our hair, right? Man, that style ain't gonna last long. You gonna have a different hairstyle probably the next day or two, bro. You get that shit cornrowed to the back, man, that shit go sweat right out. You get that shit do with the prison braids, it's gonna sweat right out, bro. It's gonna sweat right out, bro. So you gotta rock the afro, right? You just gotta rock the afro. Bud got different hairstyles because he's putting in serious work to the point where he's sweating all that shit out. He can't even keep the afro going. Keep the Akuma going, dog. Don't even do none of that. Just keep working, right? Those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. If you got dreads and all this stuff, man, you sweating and training, man, you might as well not even get your hair retwisted. You might as well wait till after camp to get all that stuff done. Hell, you might as well cut it off. Because it's nothing but a wet, just no. All right? Bud Crawford training his ass off for this fight, man. He's looking sharp, he's looking lean, and he's looking very fucking mean. And I hope it's not under scene on September 13th, right? Because it's not looking good for Canelo, bro. It's just not. You know, and I can honestly look at this thing objectively because I feel like it's more of a challenge for me to find a way for Canelo to win this fight. And it's really fucking difficult. I've been looking for weeks as a way how could Canelo Alvarez, unless he lands a punch, unless Terence Crawford just can't deal with Canelo Alvarez's quote unquote size difference, I don't see how Canelo Alvarez is going to be to do with the Mamba mentality. I just don't see it unless he just knocks him out. Crawford slips on a banana peel, right? It may look similar to, it may look somewhat similar. I'm not sure if Crawford will take this approach with Canelo, though. I'm not sure. But I went and watched the Alvarez fight last night, and I was watching what Crawford was doing in that fight. And Alvarez was coming forward pretty much the majority of the fight, right? Just coming forward, hands up in high guard. But when I noticed what Crawford was doing in that fight, and this is something and this is what led to the knockout eventually later on, but he was really just really just pawing at David Alvarez, almost like he was hitting some mitts, right? Just going slow at a slow pace. Then he'll kind of speed up certain shots, land that shot here, boom, boom, boom. You know, just then out of nowhere, by what was the 6th, 7th round, he hit him with that two-piece that was lightning quick and hard. Alvarez got lulled to sleep throughout the fight because Crawford was just kind of, you know, throwing slow, you know, just slow but really accurate shots, right? Not necessarily nothing fast or nothing like that, but it was just kind of accurate and it was just landing. And then out of nowhere, boom. Canelo got to watch out for shit like that. Crawford will lull you to sleep thinking he's fighting certain type of way. He's moving slow. He's kind of lulling you into some type of, you know, and then out of nowhere, he'll snap like a viper and knock you out. He got to worry about that stuff. This the different styles that Terence Crawford has in his fights. It's almost like the dude don't have a real style of boxing. It's almost like, I say after the 3rd round, you don't know what kind of style Crawford's doing. Because when you look at Bud, right, he's a fighter who pretty much gets in the ring and whatever you doing, he's going to adjust to what you're doing. He's going to adapt to what you're doing, right? Of course, he's going to have his jab and things of that nature that he's going to be working throughout the fight. But mostly he's adjusting to what you're doing. And as the fight's going, he's slowly taking things away from you to where you're about a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, you ain't got nothing left. You caught up in his genjutsu. You don't know how to get out, right? You just don't know how to get out. Canelo, this is a tough fight for Canelo. Really, really tough fight. Not to mention, right? Not to mention the skill set and the IQ, but the athlete, right? That's something else they don't really get talked about. Terence Crawford is a really, really good athlete. You know what I'm saying? Much better athlete than Canelo Alvarez. So if Crawford possibly didn't have the skill advantage, the speed advantage, and many other advantages in this fight, honestly, he also has that advantage as well. He also has that advantage as well. So this is a really tough fight for Canelo Alvarez. Eddie Reynoso got his work cut out for him. Not to mention he's got to try to think of a game plan that's going to be able to constantly evolve as the fight goes. Because Crawford is going to be constantly adjusting to what Canelo's doing. And Eddie Reynoso is going to have to constantly give Canelo advice. And hopefully Canelo can keep up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, Crawford, not only he has the IQ, the skills, and all that other stuff, but he's the better athlete. He's the naturally better athlete. Overall, he's the better athlete, right? Tough matchup for Canelo Alvarez. A lot tougher than probably most people really expected going into this thing, considering the 3-weight class jump, 2-weight class, whatever you want to say it is now at this point. That's a tough fight for Canelo Alvarez. Tough fight. Because it's not like the blueprint. And look, a lot of these guys, maybe they watch Bushido boxing. Maybe they think the same thing I'm thinking. Then they come out and say it too. But I've been said that the blueprint's been out. Right? And then you get some of the experts, no slight to them. Great minds think alike. You know? But the blueprint has been out to beat Canelo. It's just a matter if you can go out there and get it done. But there's literally no blueprint to beat Terence Bud Crawford. There's no blueprint. Do Canelo got what it takes to be the first guy to beat this type of guy? Well, there's no real blueprint on how to beat him. No real blueprint at all. Like, oh, you got to be fast. Oh, there's really no solid way to beat Terence Crawford. We know how you could beat Canelo. We've seen it. Right? We've seen it. We've seen how you could easily, I don't even want to say it's easy, all right? I don't want to downplay the situation, but I mean, we've seen guys kind of get up in there and reduce Canelo Alvarez to 152 punches. Right? We never seen nobody reduce Crawford to such things. And even the most difficult styles, I'm talking boxing, even the most difficult styles, right? Because even though he may not, this particular fighter may not be a better fighter than X fighter, he has a very difficult style, right? Terence Crawford made all the difficult styles look like they were just easy work. Or at the very least, he handled them very well until he eventually got the stoppage. And when I say difficult, I mean like Sean Porter. Very difficult style, went tooth and nail with the best of them, right? Really, really hard to look good against a guy like Sean Porter. Very hard. I mean, he made everybody look bad. He gave Errol Spence hell, right? But he got up in there with Bud Crawford. I mean, what did Sean say? I never felt that he was uncomfortable in the fight. He was never uncomfortable. I get everybody uncomfortable. He wasn't uncomfortable, right? Very difficult style. Amir Khan, say what you want about him. He's a front runner. He's outboxing most guys for the first 6 rounds, right? Most guys, till he eventually get caught later in the fight, right? He couldn't even get going with Terence Crawford. Couldn't even get going. Couldn't even get going. This dude is able to deal with any style in the ring. I don't think that gets noticed enough. How he's able to just deal with whatever you bring into the ring. And he seems to handle it very well. Yeah, he may get hit. Okay, he's not invincible or no shit like that. Yeah, Bud Crawford gets hit. But he handles these styles. Whatever you're doing in the ring, he handles it very well. He handled the big fish, Errol Spence. Oh, well, then Errol Spence, he wasn't the same guy and all this other stuff. But this same Errol Spence went tooth and nail with Ugas. Tooth and nail with Sean Porter, right? These guys went to war with him. He got up in there with Bud Crawford. It wasn't even close, bro. It wasn't even close. He smoked him like a pack of coos, dog. So it makes you question how good were any of these guys? How good were is Bud Crawford really that damn good? Is he really that damn good? To where he made these guys look ordinary. It's going to be very interesting to see if he can do the same thing to Canelo. And the thing is, for Canelo, the blueprint is out, bro. You know what I'm saying? He took Errol Spence. Oh, there was no blueprint on how to truly beat Errol the Truth, Big Fish Spence Jr. And the plethora of other undefeated guys Crawford beat. Crawford could beat some undefeated fighters. Olympic caliber guys, he beat some guys. They may not have been, household names and no foolishness like that, but they were some solid dudes, and he just handled them. Guys who I feel honestly got more difficult styles than Canelo Alvarez. I just don't see what Canelo Alvarez can really do, and I'm not being biased, okay? I've been looking for weeks and searching for weeks, and it's difficult. Him winning this fight is predicated on him landing that big shot and hurting Crawford, knocking him flat out cold, or Crawford just can't deal with the size gain. Those three things, bro. Other than that, man, I don't see how he can get this thing done. Because those are what ifs, and it don't look like it's going to be that what if. It's going to look like it's going to be what are we seeing. This dude look like he grew into the weight class, right? It don't look like it's just a bunch of muscle, manufactured muscle he put on real quick. Like it looked like Bud Crawford really kind of just grew into that weight. Almost like he's been this big the whole time and he just kind of said, you know, some may say weight bully Bud. I don't think Canelo Alvarez gonna be able to push this guy around like that. I don't think he's gonna be able to push him around. And then another thing, the respect factor. Canelo Alvarez has a lot of respect for Bud. A lot of respect for Bud. A lot of respect for him. A lot of respect. He's going to get up in there with Crawford respecting the shit out of him. And then when he feels that first punch land, he's going to really respect him. Like, damn, I can't be hit. I can't even get nothing off. And then flashbacks of the sessions with Boots Ennis is going to be lingering in his brain. That's what's going to happen, y'all. I've been trying for the Canelo fans because there ain't nobody can give me nothing valid other than Canelo landing that big bomb. And to be honest, that's all I could see. Because I can't see how Canelo outboxing Crawford for 12 rounds. I just don't see that happening. You had to pay me for me to see that happening. I just don't see that happening. But outboxing Crawford, jab for jab, skill for 12, nah, I don't see it. It's going to have to be a fight for Canelo. It's going to have to be a fight. And he's going to have to say, fuck stamina. That's what it's going to have to be. That's just what it's going to have to be. He's going to have to hope he's durable enough, right? And Canelo's an extremely durable fighter, one of the best chins in boxing. So we're going to see if Crawford power translates up to 68. That's the big question for Bud. The big question is for Crawford. Does his power translate? We know he's going to have the speed advantage likely, right? But the power, will he be able to hurt Canelo and keep Canelo off of him? And will he be able to, if he gets hit by Canelo, which Canelo does like to hit you wherever he can hit you, will have an effect on Terence Crawford in the fight. Those are the big things for Bud. Those are the big things for Bud. But for Canelo, there's so many different things he got to worry about in this fight. Crawford decides to employ a William Skull, Edison De Lara type approach, a Cuban-style approach. What Canelo go do then? Throw his hands up in the air, put his hands down, get all mad and frustrated, then getting popped with jabs? Because unlike William Skull, Terence Crawford's going to come to win. He's going to come to punch you too. But he can also employ that type of approach. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think Crawford's going to be doing all that moving around. Yeah, he's going to be moving around, but he's not going to be moving around like Skull, right? Really, really good fight, you guys. We got about 2.5 weeks. About 2 weeks, man. This thing is coming. It's closing in. It's closing in fast, man. And I'd be lying to you if I told you Canelo Alvarez looked like he was ready. I don't think he's ready. And like I told you guys on the live stream, when we're looking at these dudes in camp, what we're seeing now, right? What we're seeing, just based off what we're seeing, we ain't seen too much from Canelo. But what we do see is it looks like he damn near just getting started. When we were looking at Crawford, it looks like he's damn near about to peak. That's just what it's looking like. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's just what it's looking like. But yeah, man, tell me what you guys think about this fight, man. Jerron Boots Ennis is beating up on Canelo Alvarez allegedly, right? This is just alleged. You know what I'm saying? Now, I assume that's exactly what's happening. But, you know, reports saying that Team Ennis, I don't believe any of that. But I do know that Jerron Boots Ennis probably is having his way in camp with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is having a hard time. Then he's going to go up into this fight with Terence Crawford, somewhat demoralized, because Jerron Boots Ennis is the next guy after Crawford that has that type of skill set, switch hitting and things of that nature. But yeah, man, tell me what you guys think. Monologue, man. Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, September 13th. Like, subscribe, holler at your boy. Peace out.